My dear brothers and sisters in the risen Lord, week 33, day Monday, ordinary season. The steps of faith fall on the seeming void, but find the rock beneath, said by John Whittier. Nicholas Pauzin, 1595 to 1665, was a famous 17th century French artist. One of the famous paintings he painted was the healing of the blind beggar Bartimaeus. One day, two persons, a poet and an artist, were looking at this picture. The artist asked the poet, "To you, what seemed the remarkable thing about this painting?" The poet said, "The figure of Christ, the grouping of the individuals, the expression of their faces, everything in this picture seems to be excellently done. But look, the artist pointed to the steps of a house shown in the corner of the canvas. Do you see the discarded can lying there?" "Yes." "But what about it?" asked the poet. "Why," the artist exclaimed, "on these steps the blind man sat with a can in his hand, but when he heard Christ was calling him, he was so sure that he would be healed that he left the cane lying there and went to Christ as if he could already see." It was the tremendous faith of this blind beggar that brought him healing. In today's gospel, Jesus healed a blind beggar as he approached Jericho. St. Mark narrated the healing of a blind beggar in Jericho and mentioned the name of the beggar at Bartimaeus, 10:46. So Matthew mentions the healing of the two blind beggars at Jericho, chapter 20, verse 30, and one of them probably was Bartimaeus. Most probably, Bartimaeus is the blind beggar which St. Luke mentions in today's gospel. Let us note. 1. The conditions of the blind beggar. This blind beggar was seated on the roadside and he was begging. To be blind was miserable, but this blind man's misery was compounded with the righteousness of being a beggar. Those whom divine providence has disabled physically must be helped for their survival. There may be cheats among the beggars, but not everyone is a cheat. Our charity must extend to them, as Christ looked compassionately at the blind beggar and relieved him from his misery. 2. The prayer of the blind beggar. The blind man had heard about Jesus and his healing works. He came to believe in all the power of Jesus and slowly would have developed a great faith in him. He would have often prayed and wished for Jesus to pass his way. When he came to know that Jesus was passing his way, immediately he seized his opportunity to get a healing from him. He cried out loudly, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." When people asked him to be silent, he cried all the more louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me." He He had tremendous faith in Jesus. Only he could heal him. Others may feed and clothe him, but only Jesus could heal him and give him sight. He had a faith that he even battled against the crowds that opposed him. His fervent faith and his cry for mercy were answered by Jesus' healing words. The blind beggar received his sight. Third, the blind beggar followed Jesus. After receiving his sight, the blind beggar followed Jesus. How different was this blind beggar from the 9 lepers who never turned back to thank Jesus after getting cleansed from their leprosy. Although this man was a blind beggar, he was a grateful man. Christ gave him his sight, and he decided to spend his life looking upon the healer who restored his sight. May God bless you all. Amen.